After 4 years of declines, South Africa has jumped 7 places in the latest World Economic Forum competitiveness rankings, mainly thanks to an improvement in broadband uptake and innovation. Joining us in studio to discuss the South African innovations that are making inroads internationally is Finweek editor Jana Marais. Jana, thanks for your time. You've looked at a number of products over the past couple of years. Which one would you say stands out for you?
Look, I think for me personally, the tech innovations really have been the most exciting. You look at a company like Who Themes, and I think we've featured them on the show as well. One of their offspring, WhoCommerce, got sold for about $30 million. I don't think the amount was ever confirmed. But anyway, it was, you know, they saw a gap in the market and they developed e-commerce applicability for WordPress websites. And you think, you know, that's great. It's great that you can sit in Cape Town and develop something that really there's a need for all over the world. And maybe more than with developing physical products, I think in the tech space it might sometimes be easier to really crack the code internationally. So yeah, I think that's a good one. And there's a few other tech companies as well that was interesting. I think the interesting thing from the World Economic Forum result is where we should probably be a little bit concerned, if you look at, for example, our maths and science ranking, 138 or 140th out of 140.
Education.
How sustainable is this? You know, 10 years from now, can we still come up with these innovations? I think that's a challenge.
Did they share any insight with you? I mean, I know that particular company stands out for you, but in terms of lessons that have been learnt, what insight have they been able to share?
Yes, I think, you know, and I'm going to speak more broadly on the lessons. I think the interesting thing, for example, we looked at Amarula, and really it's just because the brand, they've managed to create a brand that people just really love. They like the unique African roots. They like the work Amarula does with elephant research, and, you know, and Amarula uses the elephant to create these epic ads, and people all over the world just love it. So even though they create a liquor that is actually in a market that's declining, where people are drinking fewer and fewer people are drinking these liqueurs, Amarula is actually still growing and still doing well, simply because they've managed to create a brand that people really love, and that's been strong. I think if you look at something like Vitality, for example, I think they've burned their fingers going into countries like the US, trying to copy the same model they've done here, and now they've really moved to a partnership model and rolling out the Vitality part rather than the medical aid part in all over the world. So it's quite interesting. Different strokes for different folks.
Any particular companies that you're watching at the moment that you say these are the ones to watch? And I think maybe what concerns me is the educational aspect. You say, yes, where's the next innovation wave going to come from? But what are you watching at the moment that's looking quite interesting to you? Yes,
I think we're going to see much more interesting things coming out of the tech space. And I would, for example, keep an eye on Who Themes and Mark Forrester and the team there, because I think there'll be more interesting offspring coming out of that group. And then, interestingly, one of the companies I'm looking at is touching on the education issue is an app called Snapify, and they allow kids to download textbooks on your phone or on a tablet, and you don't even need internet access for it. So it's quite innovative in that sense, and it obviously tackles the problem of textbooks not getting distributed to schools. So I think the tech space is something to watch, and perhaps something renewable energy. I think we might see some innovations coming out of that space as well, given the amount of money that's being spent in that sector at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see.
I'm particularly excited about the one that you can, download a textbook and you don't even need Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I don't understand how that works.
I don't know. We should get them in.
Yes,
Let's get them in and find out how they do it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jana.